Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. Isn't it amazing how a week can make such a difference in our lives? I mean, there's been so much activity going on around the world, and I sort of feel there's a little bit of excitement in the air. I don't really know why, or maybe I'm just being supremely optimistic, but I think it's time we had a little bit of excitement in the air, and it may just be because we're heading towards the change of the season. I know in the Northern Hemisphere getting ready to jump into spring and summer, and I'm absolutely jealous because we're heading into the autumn or the fall and the colder part of the year, and I'm a warmth baby. I really like the summertime. So, and we've just had, major changes in the weather here in the last 24 hours. We went from beautiful summer weather to almost getting your overcoat out, and I'm not liking that at all. But anyway, let's get on with the show. So I hope wherever you are in this world of ours that you've had an amazing week. So this week we're working with the Secrets of Tarot card. Now this is the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands is a rather ambiguous sort of card because people sort of say to me, how can I have two different meanings, Amanda? The first meaning is a short journey. The secondary meaning is movement to or near water. Now, I take this card as not necessarily are you packing up the house and moving to or near the water. It just means that we need to get out of our comfort zone a little bit. We need to get out. We need to do something different with our lives. And isn't that an apt card when you consider that we've been 12 months in this pandemic where for many of us we've been locked up, opened up, locked up, opened up, and we sort of feel like we're over being locked up. But we want to sort of get out there and start to experience life again. So to me, this is the perfect card for that. It's telling us to get out, start exploring our local environment. If you've got water near you, go and take a picnic lunch and sit by the water or paddle your feet in the water and just start to feel as if you've got some life back in your life again. And particularly with it being the Pisces time of the year, isn't it amazing to sort of think that, we can get out and enjoy some of the beautiful water that's near us. And if you don't have water, maybe you might want to go and sit under a tree and pretend you're near the water and just sort of soak in that sort of nice, watery, emotional energy, but sort of in a calming sort of way. So that would be really nice, I feel. I mean, I'm a water baby. I love going to the beach and sort of being near the water. I find that very calming and very relaxing. But I also find that it really activates my intuition. And a lot of people talk about how do you clean your aura or how do you clean, the gunky energy that we all attract during the week. And I just want to touch on that just briefly for the moment. For those of you that live near the ocean, the best way to clear your aura is go and have a dip in the ocean, is go and have a swim in the salty water. But for many people, that's not possible. And they sort of say, well, how can I go about doing that? Well, there's two simple ways. You can put some salt in a foot spa or a bucket of water or a dish or something like that and soak your feet in it and allow the salty water to sort of soak up and cleanse your aura that way. One of the other tricks that I like to use is Epsom salts. Now, a lot of times, a lot of people have a bathtub or they like to sort of soak in the tub. It's a great time to throw in a couple of tablespoons of Epsom salts along with your bath bomb or your favourite bubble bath or fragrance, and just allow that to soak through the skin. That's a great way of cleansing the aura. And it's something that psychics do quite regularly. For those of you that don't have a bathtub, apply the same principle, a bucket, a foot spa, a dish, something like that. Just soak your feet in it and just, while you're relaxing, reading a book or watching telly or listening to your favourite music, you can allow yourself to sort of detox that toxic energy. And people sort of ask me, well, how do we gather this sort of energy? It can happen in any way. We can't always walk around completely shut off to the world and sort of completely isolated, which we've been the last 12 months in many ways. But, just by simple daily tasks, by going and doing the shopping, picking the children up from school, going to the local market, going to the local church or synagogue, we pick up other people's energies, and not all their energies are bright and positive. A lot of people have lots of issues going on in their life, and they're not deliberately trying to share them with us. It's just what makes the world go round. So you would have experienced it sometime or another where you've walked into a room and you feel a very, very uncomfortable energy, or people sort of say, gee, you could cut the air with a knife. Well, that's because the energy is thick and it's heavy, and maybe the people there have got a lot of issues or problems that they're trying to sort through. And yet there's other times you walk into somewhere and you say, gee, it's got a great atmosphere. Well, it's a great energy. So again, it's a sort of upbeat, it's an uplifting feeling. And quite often you feel that when you go to a movie or you go and see a concert or see a live show, that the energy is electric and everybody's having a great time. So that's just a couple of little tidbits there for you about energy and clearing your energy or clearing your aura, particularly in this Pisces time of the year. So let's get down to the astrology section of the week. We are talking about Pisces. Now, the first planet I want to talk about, we've got Mercury, the planet of communication, is sitting in Pisces all by his big self and sort of saying, I'm sitting here having a great time. But what Mercury, the planet of communication, is asking us to do is to get in touch with ourselves, is to get in touch with the creative side of ourselves, to sort of sit back, take a breather and take a little bit of stock of where we've come in this last 12 months. And, there may be some good things that you've learned about yourself or you've learned about the family or learned about your life in this last 12 months. And there might be some other things that aren't so good or a little bit prickly that you sort of say, I want to release those and let those go. Well, now's the perfect time to do that because Mercury will enhance that. He will help you. He will help you get much more clarity, even though sometimes you might feel like the answers are just hidden from you. They will come. Just be patient. The Pisces energy is about looking at things through a different set of lenses. It sometimes can be sort of, wandering around in a fog, and then all of a sudden the clearing comes and we get much more clarity. So the remaining planets that are sitting in Pisces at the moment are Neptune, the planet of illusion or delusion, but I also look at as Neptune as being one of the more creative planets. This is where we do get our creative streak from. So with Neptune holding hands with Venus, the planet of love and affection, for those arty, crafty sort of creative sort of souls, this is a really positive time for you. It's the time to get the paintbrush out, get your pencil out, start writing those lyrics, whatever it is that you might find as your form of creativity. And a lot of people say to me, oh, Amanda, I'm not creative. But we can be creative in other ways other than painting a picture. You might be a great cook. You might be good on creating websites. You might be good at just reading a story. There's all different forms of creativity. It isn't always about painting a picture or creating a symphony. We all have a measure of creativity and we are all good at something. Then the final one in Pisces is conjunct the sun. So as we're nearing the end of the Pisces time, we've only got a bit over a week, it's really, we're in the real depths of the Piscean energy where we sort of really want to get out there and celebrate life and enjoy ourselves and sort of really enjoy being able to take care of ourselves and take a little bit of a breather and give ourselves a mental health day or two during this time. That's just a time to relax, to do something that we enjoy, something that makes our soul sing. And as we head towards St. Patrick's Day around the world, and I know lots of people like to have a green ale on that day. I'm not one of them. But it's a time where we can let our hair down and have a little bit of fun and frivolity. And I think sort of have a little bit of a mystery in our lives and look towards, maybe trying to find that leprechaun at the end of the garden that's going to bring us that pot of gold. And there's nothing wrong with having dreams and aspirations like that, even if we know they're not going to come true. It's a little bit of fun and it sort of lightens our lives up a little bit because we've had such a very serious 12 months. We still have Saturn, the planet of discipline, conjunct Jupiter in Aquarius. So we still have some really big opportunities coming towards us, but we have to make sure that we handle it in a structured, disciplined sort of manner, that we don't just go off and shoot our mouth off or run off and get all excited and forget about the details that need to be addressed with this. For many people, there'll be some breakthrough moments. There'll be some light bulb moments where your thinking will take you in a completely different direction. Your path in life might even alter during this next 6 months. And it's like you need to be ready to be able to harness that very in-depth, detailed energy that's sitting around you at the moment, because the Aquarian energy is about daring to be different. It's about thinking outside the square. It's about really knowing what you want, and it's a knowing that comes from inside. It's not just, I had this random idea, so I'll throw it out there. It's like, I really am behind this idea. I really believe in it and I know I can pull it off. Then it's a matter of structuring it and putting it in a way that we can present it so that it can materialize, that it can develop, it can grow, and we can get other people to sort of get on board and get as excited about this as we are, because that's really important too. Now, we've been talking about, as long as I've been on this show, Pluto and Capricorn. I feel like a broken record here. Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. No, I haven't been on the show since 2008, and he will be there till well into 2022. And it's Pluto's role is about completely transforming things. He rules things like the underworld, things that are hidden from us, the ability to sort of sift through the garbage or the trash and sort of say, okay, this is the only little nuggets of positivity I'm going to take out of this. The rest of it can be discarded. And his role is to sort of change the way that we think, change the way that we look at things, look at who we vote for, look at who we believe in, look at the things that are important to us in our lives. And transformation can come in many ways. It's not saying all of a sudden you've got to change political energies. You know, if you vote for one party that you suddenly swap to the other side. Pluto's role is asking you to just have a good look. Look at what people are standing for. Do those things align with your personal belief systems? If not, maybe it then might be time to sort of rethink or relook at how you cast your vote. If you've got elections coming up in your local area or federally where you are, in your country, it's time now to not waste your vote. But in other ways, Pluto asks us to transform the whole of our lives. Now, this can be something as simple as, and I say simple as, we get stuck in ruts. We look at things and we just continually pay bills month by month, year by year, and we never really shop around for a better deal. So Pluto's asking you to make sure that your finances are in order. Are they up to scratch? Are they the way that you want them to be? Have you had a look at your car insurance recently? Have you been with the same company for 20 years and they don't offer you a discount? Well, now might be the time to get onto them and say, hey, I'm a loyal customer. I think I should be recognised for that. So there's many, many ways that we can transform our lives and we can take it back to basics. And sometimes I think we just get so busy in our lives that just sticking with the status quo is easier than it is actually looking at new ways of maybe saving us some money, and we need to sort of do that every now and then. So the final planet that I want to talk about today is Mars, the planet of action. Now, Mars is one of my favourite planets because where I see Mars in a chart, to me, is where we're going to get motivated and excited and get up off the couch and do something different. And the fact that Mars is in Gemini at the moment is Gemini is the energy of creativity, of light bulb moments, of thinking, of local environment issues, of people sort of, flitting from one idea to another, lots of activity, lots of mental stuff, lots of verbal stuff. So I see this as sort of like there's lots of people out there pounding the drum or banging the drum and pounding the pavement at the moment, sort of trying to share with us their messages, whether it's not, whether vaccines are safe or not, or, certain countries have pulled out of some and others aren't looking at it, or whether it's, should we get vaccinated, or, is there political messages, is there just, there's lots of information out there at the moment. And I suppose what Mars in Gemini is asking us to do is listen to it and then take out of that what we need, or what feels right to us. We don't necessarily have to believe everything that we're fed. And, there's just so much information these days with all forms of social media and different ways that we digest our news. And a lot of us take something for gospel that we read on social media, and we don't really understand that the media information that's fed to us on those platforms is in line with our thinking. They don't necessarily show us the other side of the equation. I'm not a computer genius by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't really understand algorithms, but I do know that if you vote a particular way, you will find most of the feeds will be in line with your thinking. You don't necessarily get feeds that come through that are contrary to what you believe in, other than maybe personal posts from people, and then you have the choice to sort of read it and act upon it or delete it. So you have to be aware of that. We need to sort of make sure that we get a balanced look at what's going on in the world, and not just the look that we want to sort of absorb and say that's the only answer that there can be. There always is two sides to a story. There's always two sides to an argument, and there's always two sides to balance out. And then somewhere in the middle of that, out of the bits and pieces that we take, is our truth. So we're going to talk with Andrea in Houston in Texas. Are you there, Andrea? Andrea, are you there, darling? Andrea, are you there, sweetie? Do you have a question I can work with, Andrea? Do you have a question, sweetie, I can work with?
Yes, my boyfriend, he has regular me.
You need to speak up a little bit, sweetie. I heard about your boyfriend. Is it your boyfriend in the relationship that you want me to sort of work on, darling?
Well, there's another one that he recently lost, and we wanted to see if it was him that's actually reaching out.
Okay. Look, I'm having trouble hearing Andrea, so I'll just go with what I'm being given. There seems to be a lot of changes coming up in your life at the moment. And what I want to sort of suggest to you is that you really need to put yourself first. It's like there's just so much activity around you and so many things that are pulling your attention in so many different ways that it's like I want to ask you to sort of stand still for a minute and out of this sea of choices and information and things that are being thrown at you, just sort of stop and look and say, hang on a minute, this is the part that's most important to me, followed by this and this and this. And by being able to do that, I think you'll start to get some clarity, you'll start to get some answers, you'll start to see the truth in the situation. I know you asked something about your boyfriend. Look, I feel he's in the middle of all this, but I'm going to say to you, I think you need to make sure that you take the blindfold off with that situation too, and make sure that you clearly look at what he's offering, what he's saying, how he's handling himself in the relationship. Does this sit comfortably with you? Is this what you want? I feel that there's been a couple of issues there recently that have been a little bit on the prickly side where you've had to try and sort of work through them, sort through them, and this has left you questioning a lot more about the relationship than what you were even 2 weeks ago. And it's like, I just don't know whether I know you anymore. You know, some of these things have taken the wind out of my sails a little bit. They've surprised me and not necessarily in a good way. And yet there's other things that have come up in this last 2 weeks that I'm really excited and really pleased about. So I think what's actually sort of happening here is you're being asked to really sort of just take it moment by moment. Don't be in too much of a hurry to try and sort everything out and say that's set in concrete for the next 6 months. It's a time of being versatile. It's a time of being able to fly by the seat of your pants and make decisions and choices as things arise. Don't be in too much of a hurry to put all your eggs in one basket. Have many eggs in many baskets so that you've got choices and opportunities coming towards you, that you can start to sort of feel that you're in the driver's seat for a change. I think there's been too many times, Andrea, that you've allowed other people to dictate or push you into directions that you may not necessarily have wanted to go. And it's not because you're not a strong young woman. You are very, very strong. It's just you willingly seem to give your power away to people that don't necessarily deserve it. And I want to sort of say to you, this is time now to not let these people sort of walk all over the top of you. It's time for you to be able to sort of stand up and be counted and say, this is what I want, this is where I'm going, this is what my needs are. And by doing that, you'll start to find things will start to become a lot clearer. So I hope that's helped you, Andrea. It's an interesting time where people have got a lot of choices to make at the moment, and people need to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and sort of say, hang on a minute, this doesn't suit me. Just because it suits you doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be going in the same direction as you. And it doesn't mean a relationship's got to come to an end. It just means that we accept and understand that somebody else might have a different path that they need to be on for a while, and we can still remain a couple. We're going to talk with Kelly in Lancashire in England in the UK. Are you there, Kelly?
Hi.
Hi, Kelly. Do you have a question
Hello?
I can work with, please?
Hi.
What's your question, Kelly?
Hello?
Hello, Kelly. What's your question?
Can I have a general reading, please?
Yes, certainly, Kelly. You can certainly have a general reading. Interesting for you too, Kelly. There seems to be a lot of changes in the air at the moment. I know I'm picking up a bit of frustration, and I can understand why you guys have been in more lockdowns and shutdowns than probably many other places in the world. But I want to sidestep that and sort of say it's not just that I see as the changes that are coming up for you. It's like you yourself are ready to sort of leap forward again. It's like you're ready now to say, ready, set, go. This is what I want. This is where I'm going. I'm feeling energized. and I'm feeling raring to go to sort of put some new things into practice. But it's like, is it a little bit premature? Probably a little bit in some cases, but there'll be certain projects that you will be able to instigate, I think, in the next couple of weeks and sort of really move forward. Kelly, have you just moved residence or are you thinking of it? Because they're showing me sort of changes around where you're living.
No, no, I haven't, no. I'm not thinking of moving, no.
But have you been moving things around or changing things within the home?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That'll be the same energy to me because it was sort of like I'm moving things around, I'm changing things, I'm improving things. It's like building up your energy to take on board the next areas of your life, and that's a good thing. I want to sort of say to you, Kelly, that you think that you're too hard on people, and I'm going to say you're not.
I don't think so. I just talk through.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think you're tough enough on some people. You give too many people a free pass on things that you should sort of say, that's it, I'm not taking that nonsense anymore, or that behaviour is unacceptable to me. And I think these are some of the things that have really resonated with you, particularly in this last 6 months, where you've had time to sort of revisit things, that you're looking at things and saying, no, that's not acceptable. I won't put up with that sort of behaviour anymore, or this or that or the other. And this is putting you in a much stronger position moving forward, Kelly. The remainder of 2021 to me is about new beginnings, new opportunities, about really fulfilling what's going to make Kelly's heart sing. And that might not be necessarily what's going to make everybody else's heart sing around you, but it's time to put you at the top of the queue. Now, they're showing me a beautiful big pink heart. Now, usually when they show me that, Kelly, it usually symbolises new love. But for you, I felt it was like the resurgence of love. Is that how you're looking at it? Is the relationship you're in? What's Winnie?
I'm in a relationship, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, I was sort of looking at this pink heart as like the resurgence of the love within the current relationship that you're in. It's like we're in I'm not going to say a better place, I'm going to say a stronger place. You know, we seem to understand each other better now than what we did. And it's sort of like it's a better place because it's a point of acceptance. There's no judgment. It's like, I'm happy for you to do what you need to do, and they're happy for you to do what you need to do. And then we still come together as a couple and we have some things we do together. And I feel that that's really beautiful, because it was sort of, there was a time there where things were a little bit hard. And I mean beyond hard, where you sort of used to shake your head and think, I don't know you. And I'm sure the other person felt the same way at times with you, but you have worked through that and you've come to this beautiful place of understanding and acceptance of each other, that you're not in competition with each other. And I think that's a really beautiful place to be. Most couples can't achieve that, Kelly. So that's a really big feather in both your caps, that you've been able to work through the things that, you know, weren't so easy to work through in the relationship, but you're now in this beautiful spot where you really support each other and love each other, but you don't feel as if you're in competition with each other, which is good. So that's amazing too. Why do I see old photographs? Have you been sorting through old photographs, or is it just been thinking about things in your mind? Yeah. Well, they were just showing me this pile of old photographs, and I wasn't sure whether they were literal photographs or whether it was just you sorting things out in your mind. But it's sort of like that's helped you get to where you're going next. It's like by going back over that, looking at those memories, reliving some of those things in your mind is helping you with the next stages of your life. But this year is going to be very exciting. I can't sort of share everything with you that I see, but I just know that when you get to the end of 2021, you're going to look back and say, wow, that's a year to remember in the most positive of ways. And I'm so pleased that I made the choices and changes that I did, because look where I've got to. And that's a really beautiful thing. But you've got a lot of wisdom, you've got a lot of caring energy that you do share with people, but I want you to keep some of that for you. It's not always do you have to give it to everyone else. You're allowed to take some for you, you know, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They were also showing me a road trip. And I was going to say, I don't know that it's, you know, a long, long way from home, but a couple of hours away from home. And that seems to be after you've taken that journey, and it's only like a weekend away. It's like that's when your year starts to begin. So I'm hoping you're doing that fairly soon, that you've got something planned in the next month, that you're going away for the weekend or something, going to visit people.
I haven't yet, minute. No, I've not got plans, but something might come up.
Yeah, well, they were just showing me this road trip, and then they were showing me after that, it was like everything starts to unfold after that. So that's where we're going to leave Kelly in Lancashire. It's been a busy week, and it's been an interesting week, and I just want to take the opportunity to thank everybody that voted for me here in Australia for Psychic of the Year. I've won the award 7 years in a row, and I'm feeling a little bit embarrassed by that there's so many other so amazing psychics out there that you know, yet again, and I'm very humble and I'm very thankful that everybody that voted for me, but I also feel that there's so many deserving people that could also win the award as well. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that did vote for me. It's a real honour, and I really do appreciate it. And, you know, we have some amazing psychics and healers and astrologers and tarot readers here at A1R Psychic Radio. So can I suggest that you tune into some of our other shows? Everybody brings something different to the table. There's so much knowledge there and wisdom between the team that if you're looking to sort of enhance your psychic ability, enhance your journey, you may be just at the beginning, or you may be a seasoned professional, but there's always something to learn by watching someone else's way that they perform a task or their belief systems. There's always something that we can learn. So until next week, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic, sensational week as we get ready for the Easter Bunny. He won't be far away now, so we all have to be very good and get ready for the Easter Bunny to hop into our lives. So until next week, bye for now.